Hello everybody, welcome to another update on the stock screener. I wanted to give an update on Capstone Mining, which I recommended since January, and you can see that the stock has been rising. It has essentially more than doubled from the start, and let's see if this can continue or not. So let's take a look at the copper market first, because that's the first thing that you need to do. Will copper go higher or lower? So I created a copper checklist, and that will help us in making the right decision. So the first thing to look at is the copper gold ratio, which is correlated to the 10-year bond yield. So always look at the 10-year bond yield. If it rises, that means that copper will probably go up. So we can see a very nice correlation here. We see a bit of a downturn here in the 10-year yield, but I think that this will continue to rise to 2%. Long term, this is nicely correlated. So I think copper is still better than gold right now, but gold is also a buy. Second thing to look at is the warehouse level. So we just go to this site, and you can see that the warehouse level is going down. So that indicates that there is a shortage, and most recently this is topping out and going down again. So I think copper can go higher in the short term. Power consumption is also important. That means that China GDP is going higher or lower. And you can see here that GDP is expected to be very high with high power consumption rates. That's also a positive. The GDP forecasts of the Atlanta Fed, always check that. And you can see that GDP estimates are at 8%, so that's very high. The latest number that came out was around 6.5%, so we are in a good position here. Supply and demand. We know that we have the electrification demand, which will give a boost to the copper demand, about 5 million, and this will keep on growing until 2030. So there's a demand-supply gap. Always check if Chile and Peru copper production is going down or not. You want to see this going down, and it is going down in Chile. So not a lot of mine supply is coming on. And in Peru, well, this is stable. You want to see this drop. Seasonality. We are now in May, which is a good month, but June would probably be a bad month for copper. So watch out for that. There could be a correction in copper. But then after the summer, we will go up again, up until March. So if you want to get out, now is the time to get out of copper, and then you can enter back in September and October. But we are here for the long run, of course. COT reports, also important for short-term movements. You want to see the commercial shorts go away, and that has happened here. But now they are coming back. So this was the bottom in copper. We are now probably moving higher in copper. And then here, somewhere here, we need to watch out. But I think we are in this bottom. So hope we can go higher. Watch the Australian dollar. You need this to go up because that's bullish for commodities. As we look at this chart, you see this wave pattern up and down, and I think that we could be going higher in the coming months. But this is in a trading range right now. So this needs to break out. Watch for that. Technicals are very good. Copper has broken out and will probably go higher. Look at the CRB index, because this will tell us in which cycle we are. We are in a bull cycle, up, down, and now we are going up again. Look at the Baltic Dry Index, the shipping rates. And you can see here that all of the three shipping rates are making new highs. Blue is higher, red is higher, and yellow is also making highs. Look at the daily forecasts, because this will predict the stock market, and Dr. Copper typically moves with stocks. So the latest data says that we are still going higher. Well, for this year, we see that we are almost at our goal, but next year will still go higher. So stocks will continue move up in the coming 2 years. So that's good in the long term. So it looks like the copper price is going higher. Now Goldman Sachs also says that we have 6.5 copper by 2025. So everything looks fine. Also confirmed by Marin Katusa research. Copper demand from EVs will rise by several million tons in the coming decades. Also, mine production is going to slow down over the next few years. Also very good. For example, also in Belgium, they want that every company car will be electric, and that 60% of all the cars in Belgium. So you know what that means. They will need to have infrastructure and a lot of copper. So that's why we buy Capstone Mining, because their cash costs are somewhere here, but they will be going to this section here. So they will be lowering their costs and increasing production. Also, something interesting to know about Capstone is that it's the only permitted greenfield project in Chile. And if you look at Chile, there are not a lot of greenfield projects. So these are new projects and with new resources. And these have a lot of exploration potential. So this is the only permitted one in Chile. So a very important project. And Capstone Mining has it. It's also the most important cobalt project in Chile and in the world. So that's a very good asset to own. Now let's take a look at the copper price. Since the beginning of the year, it was around here. And we are now in the second quarter, and it has gone up 20% again. So we are at an all-time high in copper, and it's probably going to go much higher. Okay, so Capstone Mining has released earnings. Let's go over that. Q1 earnings. Net income was 127 million, but there was some impairment reversal here on Santo Domingo, so we will take that away, and then we have 64 million, which is the real net earnings. That's very high, and we're going to calculate that in our Excel. EBITDA is very high as well, 100 million. So that's almost a price to EBITDA of 3. Production is going up, and cash costs are going down. So it was a very good earnings report. They're also debt-free. Long-term debt has gone to 0 now, and that's very good. So this company will not go bankrupt. Now we see other liabilities here, but those are deferred liabilities. This is, for example, to buy Santo Domingo, because they don't own 100%, so now they're going to go for 100% of the project. Also, other liabilities to wheat and precious metals when they go into production. So we don't count those, we only count that this long-term debt is 0, and that's very good. So balance sheet is strengthening. They have a lot of optimizations. So in 2020 and in 2021, they have, I think, 3 projects on both properties to increase production and decrease costs. So that's very nice. So that's a catalyst for the coming years. And these are very good properties. And they have 30-year mine life, 20-year mine life. The new project, Santo Domingo, has 24-year mine life. So world-class projects. And they have a cobalt opportunity here if you want to get into the battery metal space. Okay, so let's take a look at the earnings numbers. I've put them in this figure here. You can see that the revenue is rising each quarter to 200 million. Capstone Mining didn't do well last year because they had losses here in the first quarter, break even here, but due to the copper price going higher, they are now profitable, and that's when you need to buy the company. The margins are about 30% now, so that's very good. Net earnings, look at this, 127, but this is with the impairment reversal. So our net earnings are actually 60 million. So if we calculate this, earnings are 65 million times 4 quarters. And I did times 1.3 because the copper price is much higher now, 20% higher. So that gives us earnings per year of 338 million. With a market cap today 1.9 billion will give us PE ratio of 5.6. So this is very cheap. For such a big copper producer, 5.6 PE ratio is really cheap. So I see probably 20%, 30% upside from here. If you compare this, for example, to Freeport-McMoRan, they have a PE of 15 to 20, which is 3 times higher than this company. And I didn't even calculate Santo Domingo in this. This is only from their 2 producing mines, PE of 5.7. Price to EBITDA is 3, also very cheap. Normal companies should be at a price to EBITDA of 5. That's also this here. So there is still 30% upside from here currently, if we only take into account their producing mines. But of course, we still have Santo Domingo. In 2 years, they will be producing from this new asset. Production will go to 440 and AIC will drop to 1.5. And the upside from here to there is threefold. Okay? So this is a threefold. If we take, for example, 2025, what will happen then? The copper price will probably be at 6.5 copper price. So that would give us the following scenario. This will be slowly moving up, then they go into production somewhere in 2024, and the copper price will move higher to 6.5. So this is the trajectory of Capstone Mining. So we are now at 2 billion, and this will go to 10 billion. So there's still a 5-fold upside in the coming years to come, if everything pans out and if they can get that project into production. Santo Domingo has an NPV here at 4.5, copper of 2.2 billion. So this has not been added to the market cap valuation yet. So I see tremendous upside here. This is just a small update on that. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.